Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Timothy, and on the channel we speak everything personal finance. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 expenses I cut in order to save $10,000. Now, I saved $10,000 more than a couple of times. I want to help you find some ways and give you some ideas so you can save your first 10K. Now, I know saving 10K might sound impossible, but I promise if you're able to cut back on these expenses, you will be able to save your first $10,000. So let's get right into it, with the first expense that I cut on being going out to eat. So I stopped going out to eat for a period of time because I had this goal of saving $10,000, and going out to eat was not in line with my goal. Now, I'm not saying I completely stopped going out to eat. I'm not saying I went cold turkey. I definitely went out to eat way less than I would if I weren't saving that $10,000. My going out to eat budget was about $200 to $400, but I needed to save this $10,000, whether it was for the roof repair, or whether it was for the emergency fund, or whether it was for the other house. I needed to save that $10,000, so I had to stop going out to eat as often. So instead of putting $400 towards going out to eat, I then put $100, or sometimes I put $0 depending on the month and how it all went. But I definitely stopped going out to eat as much as I did. So if you didn't spend $400 going out to eat every month, you have $4,800 saved up by the end of the year, just by cutting out going out to eat for a year or for a period of time. Now, this is all temporary. To save this 10K, you're going to have to cut these expenses, but this is not going to be for the rest of your life. This is temporary. This might be for a year or 2 years or maybe 6 months. But just recognize that we're on a goal to save $10,000, and some things are going to have to be cut for a period of time. And going out to eat can be one of the best ones that you can cut so you can save your first $10,000. And the second thing I did in order to save $10,000 is to switch insurance plans. Now, I always talk about switching insurance plans because I believe that it is one of the best ways to save money. And one of the biggest savers that I did get for insurance is by switching my car insurance. So I switched car insurance and my insurance went down almost $100. So guess what? That's $100 or $1,200 a year that can now go to my goal of saving $10,000. So we cut out $400 for going out to eat because that was our budget. So that's $4,800 for a year. And we changed our insurance, which saved us $100 a month, which is $1,200 a year. And that is $6,000 in savings for the year right there. So we're only $4,000 away from our goal of $10,000. And this is money that you're not even saving. This is you literally cutting expenses out of your life. So look into switching insurance companies. You are not tied to these insurance companies. You can always switch and get better premiums with different companies. And just be sure to adjust your budgets when you actually get a cheaper insurance rate. So if your insurance goes down by $50, then that means that $50 needs to go to your savings account so you can get to your $10,000 saving goal faster. And the third thing I did to save my first $10,000 was work overtime. Now, what I actually ended up cutting in my life was time spent at home, time spent with the family, time going out, because I was working overtime. Now, me personally, I like to work overtime on my off days. So I might have worked 6 to 7 days a week. But of course, overtime is 2 to 4 hours, and we can get really good overtime pay. So when I started cutting expenses and then I built my income, there's a gap there where I grew a lot of money. So because I worked overtime and I sacrificed going home or sacrifice being home at certain hours on my off days, that is really what helped me save for my $10,000 saving goal. So on top of my original saving rate, which was probably 15 to 20%, I then stopped going out to eat, which, like I said, was about $400 a month. Then I switched insurance plans, which saved me about $100 a month. So you can see as this thing begins to stack that we might be saving $10,000 before the end of the year. So we just have to work more. This is a goal that we want to accomplish, and it's not going to be easy. But cutting these expenses and working these overtime shifts or getting another job is only temporary. So as long as we stay focused on this goal, we can definitely save this $10,000. Just by getting this extra income is truly a hack of how you can save more money, especially if you're saving for your $10,000 goal. And the fourth thing I cut back on was vacations. When I was saving this $10,000, I cut back on vacations. Now, I'm not talking about, a little trip to the park or a trip an hour away. I'm talking about the big vacations. I'm talking about, it was summertime and we weren't going on cruises. We weren't going to Florida. We weren't really doing any overnight trips. I cut back vacations. Now, this is because I want to save my $10,000. And again, this is a temporary goal. Now, I'm not saying we're not going on vacations now, because we're going on vacations now because I'm not in that time where I'm saving $10,000. But at that time when I was saving $10,000 and that was my goal, I wasn't doing vacation because I had a goal that I had to accomplish. So instead of doing vacations, I was working overtime. Instead of doing vacations, I was cutting back on going out to eat. And instead of doing vacations, I was calling up insurance companies trying to get a cheaper premium for my car insurance and other insurances as well. So cut back on vacations. I know you want to live for today, but this is a short sacrifice for a long-term gain. So don't go on vacation for the summer. Instead, for the summer, you need to work in order to save your $10,000. And the fifth and final thing I did to save $10,000 was avoid high-priced items. So I wasn't buying phones, I wasn't buying computers, I wasn't buying cars, I wasn't buying anything that had a price tag of more than $100 because I had a goal to save $10,000 and you have a goal to save $10,000. So we're not buying these luxury items. We're not buying $200 shoes. We're not buying bags. We're not going on vacations. We're not buying these expensive things because we have a goal to save $10,000. Now, why would you want to save $10,000? So you want to save $10,000 maybe for an emergency fund, or maybe you want to go on a vacation, or maybe it's part of your down payment for your house. So there's many different reasons to save $10,000. I think the main reason to save $10,000 is to get your emergency fund number. Now, this could be a 3-month or this could even be a 6-month emergency fund for somebody. So 10,000 is a pretty important number because it does cover a lot of the expenses that someone might have. So you can save this $10,000 by doing these 5 things. I'm going to go over them one more time for you. Stop going out to eat, switching insurance plans, working overtime or a second job, cutting back on vacations, and don't spend on luxury or high-priced items. So saving $10,000 may not be easy, but I promise if you're able to cut back on these 5 expenses, you will be able to save $10,000 before you know it. So what about you? Have you tried to cut back on expenses? And how did it go? And what kind of expenses are you cutting back on? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.